Because I was there. It didn't kick in. It didn't kick in. When the nurses came in and told you, can they talk to you about yourself? I'm like, no. Just go ahead and put it out there. What I was wrong. Yeah, and they said you had chlamydia. You know your instincts didn't kick in. They said, well, I do a C-section. Guess what? You refused. You didn't want to mess up your little tattoo. Or you didn't want to get cut, right? Don't worry. Where your mama instincts was at then? Because you sent through that infected canal, right? You did. You did that. So, don't do that. And I encourage you, I keep asking you, leave me alone. You want to play with my children now, right? You play with my children. Talking about my grandbaby, like... And you know, it's crazy. We will never talk about Chrisean because he's special and we really love him. But yo, you are foul. You are foul and disgusting. Yeah.
Stop scrolling, because this one hits harder than a reality TV reunion brawl. Blueface's mom just lit the match, threw it in the gasoline, and walked away like the villain reveal in a Netflix finale. According to her, Junior isn't just caught in the middle of the chaos. He's allegedly not safe. And she's pointing the finger straight at Chrisean's lifestyle like it's the plot twist no one was ready for. And trust me, this makes the Kardashians look like a church choir rehearsal. The way she said it wasn't soft, quiet, or delicate. It had the energy of someone who's seen too much, heard too much, and held her tongue just long enough. She claimed the non-stop drama, online explosions, messy surroundings, and unpredictable decisions have turned Junior's world into a stress test nobody signed up for. Screenshots, cryptic comments, and bitter tone. It all screamed, I tried to stay silent, but this time I'm saying what everyone's thinking. And the moment those words left her lips, the internet froze. Because when a mother sounds like she's ringing alarm bells instead of spilling petty tea, people lean in. If her version is even halfway true, then this story isn't gossip. It's a grenade disguised as a confession. Buckle up. Blueface's mom didn't whisper, hint, or tap around the subject like she was scared of backlash. She spoke with a tone that sounded worn out, fed up, and overloaded, like someone who had watched too many explosions go off in slow motion. When she brought up Junior, her voice had that sharp edge that made the entire internet sit up. Suddenly, every clip livestream, every emotional post, every moment of public chaos snapped into focus. It wasn't just celebrity mess anymore. Her words turned it into a portrait of instability. The kind that makes people wonder if a kid is growing up in a whirlwind instead of a home. She described the environment around Junior like it was a circus with the tent constantly on fire. Not literally dangerous, but volatile, unpredictable arguments, dramatic online meltdowns, impulsive decisions, and lifestyles that whirl faster than headlines can keep up. Drama that never sleeps, eyes that are always watching, and emotions that pop like shaken soda cans. And whether she meant it as concern, warning, or criticism, her tone made it sound like Junior's world might be built on energy that shifts too fast to ever feel steady. People didn't laugh this one off. When mothers speak, even haters pause. And Blueface's mom didn't sound sarcastic. She spoke like someone who tried staying neutral, but couldn't ignore situations that kept snowballing. She referenced the shouting matches, the up and down dynamics, the spotlight that never shuts off, and the kind of lifestyle that looks like entertainment from far away but feels like chaos up close. The internet had always seen Chrisean as fireworks walking on two legs, but Blueface's mom framed it like those sparks might burn more than just reputations. The comment sections instantly combusted. Supporters called her dramatic. Critics said she'd finally said what the world tiptoed around. And neutral watchers, they just stared, stunned that the Junior saga took another turn down a darker corridor. Because this wasn't petty talk about relationships or screenshots. This was a mother implying that a baby deserved calmer energy, quieter rooms, and steadier days than the public ever sees whenever the names Blueface and Chrisean flood the trending tab. She didn't have to list details. The public already knew the headlines. They remembered the storm cloud live streams, the overnight arguments, the tear-filled rants that felt too intense for any kid to breathe near. Blueface's mom simply connected the dots out loud. She hinted that Junior deserved a life where the ground didn't shake with drama every 5 minutes. And she said it with a sting of disappointment, like someone who'd hoped the timeline would choose peace but watched it spiral into another saga. Instead, what made her statements sting harder was the fact that she didn't sound like a villain taking cheap shots. She sounded hurt, worried, and tired of watching people pretend things were normal just because they happened on a public screen. She implied that Junior needed stability, routines, and healthy emotional space, and that Chrisean's world moved too fast and crashed too loud for any of that. Whether people agreed or not, her voice gave the conversation a seriousness that didn't exist before. Suddenly, everyone was replaying interviews, posts, and viral clips with new eyes. Chaos that used to look entertaining now felt uncomfortable. Jokes turned into questions. Loudness became alarms. And Blueface's mom didn't have to say more, because once a mother mentions concern, the imagination fills in everything she left blank. People started noticing the whirlwind lifestyle that constantly spins around the young mom, the impulsive choices, the explosive arguments, the environment that flips from laughter to tension like a reality show episode on Fast Forward. She didn't accuse Chrisean of being a bad mother. That nuance matters. But she did imply that a baby's peace can't thrive in a world where attention, drama, and emotional swings hit like summer hurricanes. She spoke as if Junior deserved dim lights, calm parenting, private bonding, and environments that don't shift based on who's upset that day. Something slower, quieter, and built on intention instead of reaction. It didn't take long for her remarks to ricochet through every platform. Commenters started dragging their own experiences into the argument. Stories about how babies absorb stress, how unstable environments can shape childhood memories even when adults don't notice. Others fired back that Chrisean was young, learning, evolving, and deserved grace instead of judgment. Fans debated whether Blueface's mom genuinely cared, or if she was stirring conflict by spotlighting concerns publicly instead of talking behind closed doors. The core issue grew bigger than personalities. People began arguing about parenting under the spotlight, mental exhaustion, emotional self-control, and how children feel energy long before they understand circumstances. Some said Junior should be shielded from the pressure cooker of public life entirely. Others argued that chaos doesn't define someone forever, that growth is possible, and that motherhood always evolves. But through all the back and forth, the conversation kept circling back to the same moment. Blueface's mom saying the words nobody wanted to say out loud. She didn't mention a specific incident. She didn't pull receipts. She used tone, exhaustion, and implication as her weapon, and that's often more powerful than facts. Because when someone implies they've seen enough to form a conclusion, the public fills in the blanks with every piece of leaked content, argument clip, and emotional breakdown they've ever watched online. Chrisean always lived loud. Blueface's mom made that loudness suddenly look heavy. Chrisean's supporters were furious. They said motherhood is messy for everyone, famous or not. They argued that outsiders don't understand the private love, the quiet cuddles, or the personal growth that never hits cameras. They said Blueface's mom only sees pieces, not the whole puzzle. Others pushed the opposite narrative, saying no amount of love excuses chaos surrounding a child, and that maybe the warning wasn't meant to embarrass but to protect. And the more the battle raged, the more Blueface's mom became the voice of cold concern in a storm of noise. Her warning touched nerves. Her tone rang serious. Her words scraped across public perception like metal on tile, forcing people to look beyond memes and headlines. She framed the situation not as entertainment, but as a child trying to grow in an environment that feels like a non-stop emotional roller coaster with no seatbelt. With that single statement, she reshaped the storyline. The drama wasn't just between adults anymore. It was about who pays the emotional cost of their chaos. Junior became the center of every debate, every think piece, every hot take. Chrisean's lifestyle, once dismissed as wild reality TV energy, suddenly sat under a microscope. People weren't laughing at her intensity anymore. They were questioning whether a baby could breathe under its weight, and whether her warning was fair or out of line. One fact fueled the frenzy: Blueface's mom didn't speak like someone stirring gossip. She sounded like someone staring at reality and saying it out loud. The world didn't hear pettiness. They heard concern, frustration, and a mother's instinct ringing louder than any public image strategy ever could. The moment she dropped it, Junior stopped being a side character. He became the heartbeat of the conversation. And Chrisean's lifestyle, loud, raw, vulnerable, explosive, became the mystery everyone tried to decode. Because whether you agree with Blueface's mom or not, her words pulled the mask off public entertainment and exposed something softer, deeper, and far more fragile than anyone wanted to admit. And once the world looks at a story through the lens of a child's environment, nothing ever feels like harmless drama again. The internet didn't just digest Blueface's mom's warning. It erupted like a pressure tank that finally blew its lid. Comment sections turned into courtroom debates, TikTok stitch theories stacked up like evidence boards, and podcasts dissected her tone like it was expert testimony. The claim that Junior wasn't safe didn't land like a casual jab. It landed like a siren that buzzed under people's skin. Because once a child's well-being gets dragged into the spotlight, even the messiest fans get protective fast. Everyone suddenly felt qualified to diagnose emotional environments, parenting energy, and who was exposing chaos versus who was defending innocence. Reactions from celebrities came as fast as the memes. Reality TV stars reposted quotes with cryptic captions. Instagram personalities threw side-eyed comments about kids not needing grown-up battles. Even rappers catapulted subtle bars into their songs. Lines hinting that unstable love shouldn't spill over onto tiny shoulders. Those lyrics traveled faster than explanation ever could, because in the culture world, subliminals do more damage than direct call-outs. Suddenly, Chrisean's lifestyle, the wild energy, impulsive actions, fiery breakdowns, explosive fights, and no-filter intensity was being analyzed like a social experiment rather than entertainment. And when the remix edits hit TikTok, it was over. Clips of Chrisean screaming, crying, parting, or melting down started replaying under captions like, "Is this what she meant? This doesn't look calm. Imagine a baby soaking all this in." Those edits didn't need to accuse. They just compiled moments already public, stitched them into a sequence that looked louder, sharper, and more unsettling when viewed through a mother's warning. Outrage brewed, doubt brewed, concern brewed, and Blueface's mom's statement suddenly felt like the lens that recast every messy moment in a harsher tone. But people never stay unanimous on social media. Some came out swinging for Chrisean with the kind of defense that vibrated with loyalty. They argued that passion doesn't equal danger, that emotional expression doesn't make someone unfit, and that motherhood looks different for everyone. They reminded the public that being young, overwhelmed, and learning in front of millions isn't easy. Others fired back that a parent's maturity has to stretch further than their chaos. They said Junior didn't have the luxury of privacy or distance, so the energy surrounding him mattered more than ever. In the middle of the clash, someone dropped one question that stuck harder than anything. If everything around Junior is calm, why did Blueface's mom sound like someone who's seen storms up close? That question alone became gasoline, because her tone, tired, frustrated, and sitting on unspoken details, made people wonder what was in public. Everyone already knew the viral clips, the impulsive arguments, the emotional spirals. But what about the unseen? The tension no camera captured, the conversations that never made the timeline. That's what made the internet spin out. If what the world saw was already chaotic, what did Blueface's mom witness that pushed her to speak? Fans started combing old live streams for background sounds, replaying heated arguments frame by frame, finding moments where Junior seemed tense or confused. Memes turned into detective boards. The narrative stopped being about whether Chrisean loved her child. Love was unquestioned. The debate shifted into something colder, whether the stormy lifestyle, emotional swings, and raw reactions created an environment too unpredictable for peace to grow. Then came the influencers who loved turning scandal into content. They printed out clips, enlarged screenshots, highlighted captions, and treated every moment of chaos like it was a chapter in a psychological case study. People who'd once said mind your business now demanded resolution. The junior drama flipped from gossip to philosophy. Can motherhood and mayhem coexist without consequence? Is wild energy harmless expression? Or does it stretch into a space where a toddler absorbs every vibration like a sponge? Blueface's mom became the unofficial expert witness in the conversation. Whenever people debated, someone quoted her tone. Not her words, her tone. She sounded scared. She didn't sound petty. That didn't sound like gossip. Tone became its own receipt. It created the suggestion that her concern wasn't born from dislike, but from witnessing too many flare-ups, too many impulsive moments, too many emotional landmines for a child to tiptoe around. And because she'd stayed silent for long stretches before, her sudden honesty landed like someone who finally got tired of pretending things were fine. Celebrity culture jumped on it too. Some quietly agreed through likes and emojis. Others spoke on live streams, saying Junior deserved a calm foundation, routines, therapy, gentle structure, and distance from the roller coaster energy blasting through cameras. One well-known personality even said, "Babies don't need fame. They need peace," and the quote spread like wildfire. Screenshotted 1,000 times, reposted with captions like "exactly," "this," "say it louder," the entire storyline became less about chaos between adults and more about whether that chaos bleeds onto the tiny person. Growing at the center, the reaction became louder when people started listing every intense moment Chrisean had ever broadcast. Loud arguments, tearful outbursts, fights that escalated without breath, drunken spirals, emotional confessions, raw vulnerability that hit different when people imagined Junior asleep in the next room. Every clip became a puzzle piece, and the internet tried forcing them into a picture that either defended her or justified the warning. And that's when speculation grew teeth. Some insisted Blueface's mom was reaching into dramatics. Others swore she was pulling the curtain back on truth. Amid the chaos, Chrisean's defenders clapped back with just as much force. They reminded everyone that healing takes time, that motherhood shifts people, that public perception doesn't know what happens behind closed doors. They highlighted softer clips of Junior laughing, bonding, cuddling, playing peacefully in her arms. Those clips made the debate messier because they showed warmth that didn't match the narrative of danger. And they raised the question, was Blueface's mom speaking from genuine worrying, personal bias, or long-standing tension? Then the memes rolled out with humor sharp enough to cut steel. Junior watching grown-ups go viral every day, showing a toddler side-eyeing chaos. Chrisean trying to meditate while Twitter is on fire, with flames in the background. The internet used humor as its coping mechanism, but behind every joke was the same itch, anxiety about the emotional climate surrounding the child. Concern disguised as comedy. And that comedy multiplied faster than any official explanation ever could. Blueface himself didn't help the situation by staying distant. Instead of defending, clarifying, or responding, he posted regular content like nothing had happened. And silence became another loud clue. People started assuming he didn't deny because denial would invite deeper questions. Some swore he avoided the conversation because his mom's words hit closer to truth than anyone wanted. Others believed he simply refused to engage, refusing to ignite another war. But silence didn't calm the storm. It intensified it. As the conversation grew, the world started treating the situation like a cultural mirror. This wasn't just about Chrisean anymore. It became commentary on motherhood under scrutiny, parenting in chaotic relationships, public meltdowns watched by millions, and babies absorbing atmospheres they can't name. Some said Chrisean should get more compassion, therapy, and safety nets instead of judgment. Others insisted Blueface's mom opened a necessary door, forcing the culture to look past entertainment and into emotional reality. Even fans who adored the drama became conflicted. They loved watching loud, messy energy online when it felt like Wild West entertainment. But once Junior became the topic, the tone shifted. People weren't laughing. They were questioning. They were nervous. They were replaying every moment, wondering if the babies of the digital era carry the scars of chaos they never asked for. And that's when the memes slowed down and the think pieces took over. Because Blueface's mom's warning didn't sound like gossip. It sounded like the moment everyone stepped back and wondered what pain sits under the performance. It didn't matter whether people believed her. The internet already stamped the question into concrete. Is Junior growing in the eye of a storm too loud for childhood to bloom? Whether that answer was yes, no, or something in between didn't stop the frenzy. The entire culture became obsessed with the idea. And the longer the discussion stretched, the deeper the analysis burrowed. Blueface's mom didn't just call out Chrisean's lifestyle. She turned it into a worldwide case study that made even the loudest fans stop scrolling and stare at the chaos with different eyes. Once the dust settled from public outrage, the whole narrative took on a different shape. Instead of arguing over who was right, people started examining the consequences that Blueface's mom's warning unleashed. Her statement didn't fade like a trending meme. It stuck like wet paint, coloring every future conversation. Suddenly, every time Junior's name appeared anywhere online, the comment section echoed with debates about emotional environments, stability, and whether fame-driven chaos can ever coexist with gentle parenting. Junior went from being a baby in the background to the lightning rod of every speculation that followed, and Chrisean, who was once viewed as entertainment's main event, became the person everyone watched through a microscope. Every smile she posted, every frustrated moment, every tear-struck rant, it was all reinterpreted as psychological evidence. Some viewers tried to prove Blueface's mom right with every emotional crack Chrisean displayed. Others tried to prove her wrong with every tender clip of her holding Junior close on quieter days. It became a digital tug-of-war where the prize was public approval and the battleground was perception. Even those who'd never engaged with her storyline suddenly felt the need to pick a side. Comment threads practically begged for updates, as though Junior's well-being had become a public responsibility. Blueface's mom's warning had planted a kind of cultural guilt, a reminder that while the world treats drama like entertainment, real children grow up behind those viral moments. That guilt became a magnifying glass, and Chrisean's life became the focus point where every decision, every emotional spike, every public meltdown got assessed through the lens of how does Junior absorb this. The aftermath shifted from gossip to atmosphere. People started talking less about incidents and more about energy the era child breathes, the tone they hear, the tension they feel. For the first time in the storyline, Junior wasn't used as a symbol, a clapback tool, or a viral prop. He became the fragile center of everything. His name sat heavy, as if the culture collectively realized that while adults can spin, blow up, and recover, children don't bounce back from chaos so easily. That realization was the quiet bomb that lingered long after the viral storm. Blueface's image took hits too. Not because he spoke, but because he didn't. Silence wasn't neutral anymore. It was suspicious. If the warning was exaggerated, why not shut it down? Why not bring clarity, comfort, reassurance? Instead, he moved through the storyline like a ghost, watching everything catch fire without attempting to hose down the flames. Fans noticed. Critics noticed. Even those who believed nothing Hazel said, nothing Chrisean did, nothing Blueface's mom implied, still admitted the silence felt strategic, uncomfortable, and heavy with unspoken truths. His brand, once built on comedic chaos and unfiltered transparency, shifted into something brittle. People who used to laugh at the madness now question the man staring through it. Was he numb to the chaos? Was he choosing drama over peace? Did he secretly agree with his mother's concerns but refuse to say it? Every no comment spiraled into theories that piggybacked on the original concern, turning the quiet aftermath into its own form of confession. Blueface didn't need to speak. His absence gave the storyline a whole second life. Chrisean's reaction, emotional, unpredictable, raw, only added fuel. She didn't issue press statements or carefully worded posts. She responded the way she always did, passionately, impulsively, explosively human. She defended herself, declared her love for her child, and insisted Junior was surrounded by nothing but loyalty and care. And because she spoke from the heart instead of the script, people split even harder. Some were moved, some were skeptical, and some heard her desperation as proof that Blueface's mom struck a nerve she didn't want exposed. Influencers called it a battle of energies. Commentators described the whole situation like a duel between chaos and caution. Psychologists on podcasts broke down how children internalize adult emotion long before they learn language. The scandal mutated into social commentary so fast that even those who hated drama found themselves trapped inside the conversation. Suddenly, this wasn't about who threw shade. It was a philosophical war about whether personal healing has to happen before parenthood, or if the storm can settle while the baby grows inside it. Meanwhile, Junior's name continued to loom over the culture like an unfinished sentence. Symbol, witness, catalyst, he became everything people projected onto childhood innocence. Commenters demanded that adults prioritize therapy over clout, peace over conflict, self-regulation over viral fuel. Others argued that motherhood doesn't come with an instruction manual, that learning under pressure shouldn't be mistaken for failure, and that one person's warning shouldn't overshadow the quiet love that cameras forget to capture. The aftermath bred empathy, judgment, discomfort, and reflection all at once. Blueface's mom, ironically, didn't have to say anything else. Her words aged like iron, heavy, cold, unapologetic. The more the internet argued, the more her tone was replayed in people's heads. Concern layered with disappointment, exhaustion mixed with clarity. She didn't sound like she wanted war. She sounded like someone who'd run out of ways to stay silent. And even months later, people still reference that interview like it was the crack in the glass that nobody could unsee. Every viral scandal hits a point where the audience realizes entertainment has an emotional cost. The Junior storyline became that moment. It forced thousands of strangers to sit with uncomfortable questions. How much chaos can a child grow around before it shapes them? When is passion too loud? When does vulnerability distort into instability? And does love alone guarantee peace, or does parenting demand a kind of inner discipline that public meltdowns can't hide? Even when the hype died and new scandals replaced the headlines, the ripple never disappeared. Junior's name still pops up every time Chrisean blows up online. People still reference the warning when Blueface posts like everything is normal. Public memory made the concern permanent. And that permanence means no one watches their chaos the same way anymore. The drama isn't just noise, it's a question mark. The laughter isn't carefree, it's edged with unease. Chrisean supporters wanted closure, but none came. Blueface's followers wanted denial, but silence continued. Critics wanted proof, but tone and implication were the only receipts anyone got. And that ambiguity created the most powerful ending a scandal could have: uncertainty. The messy, unsettling, unavoidable tension between what the world hopes is true and what it fears might be. Whether Blueface's mom exaggerated, misjudged, or revealed something no one wanted to face, her warning carved an echo into the storyline that refuses to die. And that's the strangest part. The aftermath left nobody fully right and nobody fully wrong. It left suspicion hanging in the air like smoke in a closed room. It left empathy and criticism tangled together. It left Junior not as an accessory to chaos, but as the fragile reminder that under the viral noise, a real child breathes. And that realization changed everything. It turned entertainment into introspection, gossip into discomfort, and dramatic clips into questions that sting longer than any headline ever could. Because maybe that's what Blueface's mom really did. She ripped away the shield of performance and forced everyone to stare at the emotional weight kids carry when adults forget tenderness in the hunger for chaos. Whether her warning was prophecy, misinterpretation, or frustration, the impact was raw. The world learned to look beneath the flame-throwing lifestyle and remember that calm is a child's first language, whether cameras catch it or not, and now. Even as new scandals rise like smoke signals, this one never completely disappears. Junior became the silent figure in the background who changed the tone of every fight that happens within reach of him. Chrisean became a symbol of conflict and healing, both judged and defended. And Blueface's mom became the reluctant whistleblower who made the culture uncomfortable enough to think twice before cheering at emotional meltdown clips. In the end, the aftermath didn't crown a villain, but carved a warning the audience can't unhear. The kind that lingers long past the chaos that sparked it. And that's the shockwave that refuses to die. Blueface's mom didn't just drop an opinion. She cracked open the entire timeline and left the world staring at the fallout with uncomfortable silence. Whether you hear her tone as concern, critique, or a grenade lobbed across the battlefield, one truth stands tall. Junior became the moment everything changed. The storyline stopped being just entertaining chaos and turned into a reality check no one was ready for. And once you see the madness through the eyes of a child, you can't go back to laughing like it's all a trending punchline. Now it's your turn to breathe fire into the comment section. Let me know what you think. Did Blueface's mom speak a truth everyone avoided? Or did she cross a line and invite a war she didn't need to start? Does Chrisean's lifestyle look like passion misunderstood? Or emotional weight a kid shouldn't absorb? Drop your theories, your bold takes, and your wildest breakdowns below. Because the debate isn't ending. It's only evolving. Before you vanish. Make sure you smash that like button like it owes you rent money. Slam that subscribe button like chaos just ran up on your doorstep. And turn on notifications the way social media turns on anyone the second a scandal sparks. This is where the leaks get louder, the drama gets dissected, and the storylines come wrapped in the harshest honesty the internet can handle. Here, no rumor dies silent. No warning goes ignored. No scandal fades without a post-mortem. So stay tapped in, stay curious, and keep your eyes locked on the next red flag that might explode right in front of us. Because when the next truth drops, and trust me, it will, you already know where the breakdown hits first. Vibe crave.